I notice the sound gets different when it's getting ready to.
Starts to give.
Mm-hmm. The first one, I could really hear a difference in the sound.
It wanted to give.
It's getting there.
I'm gonna win. I'm telling you.
I've never heard of a dead tree losing or winning a fight. The odds are stacked in your favor. I wouldn't want to mess with you with that big old hammer.
I'm not sure I want to mess with that big old hammer much. Seems like there used to be a day when I'd swing it all day long. I don't think I can do that anymore.
Yeah, my day at fence posts is long over.
You got it.
I'm trying to think how many thousand of them I buried in the ground.
Fence posts?
Oh man.
Why'd you bury them in the ground?
Man,
Oh,
fence-
you were
fence
making a
posts.
fence. Oh,
That's what we did. I don't know what he's making, but that's what we did with all our cedar. Oh, rail fence.
Yeah, these would have been the kind of posts you want, too.
A lot of good red to them.
Yes, indeed.
They got to almost grow in the rock for them to get like that most of the time.
This is from up Highway O.
Yep.
That's pretty rocky.
You ever see them grow along the bluffs along the highway or something? They're usually pretty good ones to get a hold of.
why is that?
It's something to do with it fighting for its life, I think is what it comes down to. It's
Slow.
It's got to have, slows the growing down because it's fighting for water and nutrients and stuff.
So you think it's more solid?
Well, the heartwood is what that's the, see now this white part, like when we buried them, that white part would be gone in a few years. It'd be rotted away.
So it's the heartwood.
The heartwood is what stays solid for, the longest amount of time.
How many years did yours last? Your fence post?
Well, they took a bulldozer to the one row after, I don't know, what was it, about 45, 50 years, something like that.
Wow.
And it was, the posts were still in there, still standing up, but had about 9,000 tons of multiflorosis growing around it, so they decided the only way to get through it was just take a bulldozer to it.
Well, see, I want to do a demonstration of
Succeeding?
healing if I get to it. And I've got a hackberry there
Yeah.
that I wanted to show why you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the same thing. Like all those fibers running back and forth that you
Oh,
can't.
man. Looks like it doesn't want to go. piece years back that I had, I think 3 or 4 wedges buried deep on top of each other. And that's bitch I still had to get in there with an axe, cut it apart so it'd let go.
Yeah. Yeah, I've already wondered about that on one of these others. The first one that I tried. I brought enough wedges.
Went to an auction one time, and the old boy actually had one that was set up for splitting either firewood or rail fence. He had the beam, 16 foot long or whatever, and you could rack the splitter down the thing. I almost bought that just for the novel. That's the first one I ever saw. And I was like, no, I ain't doing any of that anymore. I don't want the damn tool to do it with.
But you got to get the log on there, to start with.
Yeah. It was impressive. It was homemade, but it was a neat deal. It's something I wish I'd have had 40 years earlier.
Did you split your posts?
Pretty much just like you're doing. We didn't have nothing but some wedges and hammers and.
So you weren't putting them in round, just big posts.
Well, now the smaller stuff we just put in as was. Yeah, we didn't. But the bigger stuff, we keep. When you can take a 8-foot chunk and get, 4, 6, 8 posts out of it.
That's a big secret. Yeah, the second one that I worked on here was nice and clear. It split real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them fight you.
Now, I've had some of these that you'll even, and I've never done this that much, but you'll have some of these where you split right down through the middle of the knot.
They'll pop right open like you almost sawed them in half. Yeah.
I think that one will. Think that will
You
be.
think that one's gonna go easy?
I think so. What do you think? It looks like it has a natural split. It doesn't have a lot of knots. I don't see hardly any knots.
Sometimes it'll trick you looking at them. This one may very well. You see that nice line there?
Yeah.
This one may very well want to go like this. You know what I'm saying? Some of them will split and go around the side, or want to go that way.
It might be better to split it right here.
It's hard. What you usually look for is a natural crack.
Oh.
If you've got one that's been, you see something like here,
Yeah.
that's a natural. So that may want to go that way, on its own. Yeah, we had ended up chainsawing a wedge out of Osage orange. That was about almost like 3 wedges together. You know, it was, and then and that was when we drive them in behind them to get the metal ones out.
Osage orange is a pretty strong wood, isn't it?
It was Osage orange was it was extremely prevalent back. You know,
Yeah, not now. I don't see
they
many
cut them
now.
all down. They made mostly fence posts, but split maul or a maul, you know, you would make tools out of it. you
Yeah,
know.
a mallet.
Yeah, we had a big mallet that was a hunk of Osage orange stump on a pole, you know. But yeah, they cut them down by the thousands, and I think that may have been what kind of thinned them out too much. But yeah, Osage orange is one of the strongest that there is out there, really.
You know, I noticed that there were a lot of Osage orange in, I guess it's at the other end of 5th Street, where you're going toward 47.
Yeah.
And just the last time I went through there, they had cleared all that area out.
Right.
On the across from the 5th Street,
Yeah.
5th Street School.
They were extremely prevalent in your like windrows, fence lines, stuff like that.
Well, they were tough for cattle and they had thorns keeping away too. So they wouldn't push the fence.
But they've left them alone now for, I mean, I don't think anybody's bothered touching them hardly for 40, 50 years, so they should be coming back. I would think if it isn't for a bulldozer somewhere that you'd see kind of a resurgence in them.
Well, where you got fields anymore, it's developed. People don't want that.
Yeah.
You know anything that the oranges are good for?
They always said it was good for driving bugs and spiders out. So you were supposed to throw them around. You take them and everybody put them up on the top of the foundation around the basement. And whether they worked or not, I'm not.
I've read recently that's an old wives' tale.
I'm not sure if it did or not. There was so many of them that were. There was a lot of them that was true. But
That's Sammy. Hi. Yeah.
you about got her.
Yeah, that's like
So I have to keep an eye on the boys now too. Looks like they're closing up shop over there.
That is beautiful.
Smells good too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
talking about me or the ribs.
Well, both. I'm thinking both.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Looks like a lot of hard work.
Now, if you like the work,
Yeah, well,
He likes
there's
to.
a few of those.
yeah, there's a few of us.
So it feels good to accomplish stuff, right?
Well, somebody wanted a little decorative fence along their driveway, so I guess this is worthwhile. Huh?
Yeah. Very nice.
So this is how people used to chop wood?
This is how people used to make fences. See? Before they had wire fences. This is a split rail fence.
Oh, there's no nails or anything. You
No
just set
nails,
them on
no.
top of each other. It's not that easy to move, too. I can
He
move.
could put notches in there to make it stay better. That man who was here a little while ago said that he used to do this, and he made fence. He put posts in the ground for fences. And this kind of wood is really strong.
It smells so good.
I know it does. I
How
agree.
long would it take you to make just one split?
Well,
I'm sorry?
How long would it take you to take one log and make the 4 rails?
Depends on the log, really. The second, this is 2 or 3 that I did. The second one that I did was really, you put a wedge in one end and it cracked pretty straight. This one is gnarly. So that first, that one, I made 4 rails out of. Probably took 15 minutes, but this one will take me a half hour because it's just all the fibers are locked together.
Can you use it anyway, or will it split just all?